How that angle, Sonali? You good? How that one? You primarily
look at this one. All right, so hey guys, welcome to another episode of Matchpoint Podcast. Today, me and MJ, Michael will be here answering you guys questions that you left for us on Instagram. Today, we're at the John McEnroe Racket Club in Nassau, Bahamas.
Today is, this is our first in-person podcast. Me and the bro together, and we're just gonna answer some of you guys' questions. Just let you guys get to know us better. I feel like we did a lot of podcasts with a lot of different people, and you guys just never got to actually know who we were, so we just wanted to do this for you guys.
Yeah. Big shout out to Denali Knowledge behind the camera and just helping us set up. You know, this first in-person episode wouldn't be able to have this without Denali. Tell us more about how you guys started Matchpoint Podcast and what you guys are trying to accomplish. So we started Matchpoint Podcast when in August of 2024, me and MJ were chilling at his house and we just came up with a random idea to just share our experience and like interactions with other tennis players. And I feel like one of the goals was just to inspire other players, you know, to show them just like what it is to be Division I athletes and what it's like to be tennis players, especially from a small Caribbean country like the Bahamas. So we started it initially with us two, and then we brought aboard one of MJ's teammates, Kendrick Lash. Shout out to K Dot. And yeah, that's basically it. I mean, basically what we do is we just make connections with other collegiate players, professional players, let them share their story. And the Matchpoint Podcast was just meant to be an outlet for tennis players to just come on, you know, to tell their stories and then to give you guys insight on our lives, on what we go through, what we went through, and just the process of us trying to be better tennis players.
Yeah, I mean, like DJ said every reason why we started, but also like we're young, like we want to bring a different perspective to the game. Like we want videos that like people actually enjoy. Like obviously, like, no, don't want to say older community, but you know, the more mature community just would listen to like normal podcasts, like just people talking. But we want to be different. We want to make like fun content, forfeit videos, stuff like that, to really include the younger community in a sport that's generational, you know?
Yeah. And then for us, I feel like another thing was tennis didn't really have the content that like it needed, you know, like nobody really displayed it as such like an exciting sport. You know, with like basketball, you have Cam Wilder, you know, football, you got Destroying, just people who simply just entertain, and that's really what we were just trying to do. So yeah, that's it for that question. The next question is, how does it feel to play Division I tennis and in the same conference with someone you grew up playing tennis with?
I mean, well, I'm a year above DJ. I'm going to be a junior. DJ is going into his sophomore year at Coppin, but I mean, it's great, bro. Like, I grew up my whole life with DJ, and obviously I would have much rather him come to Howard and be on the same team as me, but him only being like an hour away is great. I think moving from an island like the Bahamas to like another country is kind of tough. So having someone that you already have a full connection with and knew all your life like really helps, and it's basically like a home away from home, you know what I mean?
Yeah. To be honest, it just gives you a sense of like comfortability, like, you know, just knowing like one of your guys right there, and just the continuous support, you know, like we continue to support each other. Even like he playing another school, you know, and then even when we play each other, you know, it's going to be a dogfight, but you know, you still want to see the kid win no matter what. You know, it's just a lot of love that goes into it. And yeah, even though like, you know, we might be conference rivals or whatever, we still support each other. We still cheer each other on, even on the court. He hits good shots. I say, yeah, you know, that's good, you know, even when it's against my teammates. As much as I hate it, you know, it hurts deep down knowing like, hey, he just hit that shot at my teammate. But knowing how much work and preparation he put in to just be where he is at, and getting to share that with him kind of being, you know, playing on the same level is a good experience.
Bison over Eagles all day.
No, Eagles all day. Let's go, Coffee. Third question. What is your individual goals for tennis?
I'd say for me, I definitely want to play professional tennis. I mean, I think it's tough to play a sport like tennis all your life. Like it's a demanding sport, so I feel like for me, it's tough to just play from I was so young and not try to see how far I actually could take it, you know? I mean, everybody has the goal to be number one in the world, but I want to make an impact on my country. Like, not much people made it extremely far in tennis from the Bahamas, and I want to be one of those guys. And I just want to be a role model for younger kids, honestly. What about you?
So for me, I really just use tennis as a stepping stool to just get my degree. I have interest in other things, like I want to dibble and dabble in politics when I get older. So tennis is really just a stepping stone for me to just get the right education. I mean, I've always been a natural competitor. You know, I don't really give up. Always been a grinder, you know, wiggy.
Andrew.
Wiggins.
A
little inside joke, but...
Inside joke.
But yeah, exactly. Like, you know, I just always been a competitor, a grinder. So, and it was always my goal to just play Division I tennis. And, you know, I officially like accomplished that goal. But, you know, I don't just want to stop there. But before I give it up, you know, and enter the world of business, you know, and enter the working world, I definitely want to play on the Davis Cup team alongside Michael and Denali. You know, those have always been my friends. I've always liked just sharing the court with those guys. So imagine like taking a trip with those guys. And I haven't had the opportunity to travel with Denali yet, but always had the opportunity to travel with MJ. And it's always a blast, you know, always fun, always a good environment. And we always enjoy ourselves and we always play the best tennis. And so, yeah, I would say that would be my individual goal in tennis. What are your goals for the next collegiate tennis season?
For me, I think next year, definitely want my team to make it to the NCAAs. I want us to win our conference and just overall just win. Like, it's college tennis. I feel like everybody wants to win. And I feel like I just want to be a role model for the younger guys and like just be a dog next season. I think next season we have a great team, a great group of guys, and I think we could really make an impact, you know?
Piggybacking off what MJ said, yeah, definitely. I mean, everybody wants to win conference. Everybody wants to see their team do well. And yeah,
Bison.
We definitely have a great group of guys there at Coppin as well. And, you know, I'm just looking to put more wins on the board for my school and maybe make second team or first team all conference and just have a better year than my freshman year where I just gained like a lot of experience. Didn't really play how I really wanted to play, but I feel like this year is a year for improvement. You guys can see we had a little rain delay, but we're back. Bro, you just sat in the water. Hold on.
Anything, bro. I'll do anything.
Bro, this is what we go through just to get the videos out.
It's a vax, man, normal.
Bro, oh my.
It's just like sweat.
No, boy. This boy got me sitting in water, boy. Anyway, so yeah, on a serious note, yeah, we did have a rain delay. The weather came bad. The weather more bipolar than a black parent. But in all honesty, yeah. So, you know, we were here shooting the video. The rain came out of nowhere. So we went from the sunny islands of the Bahamas to the rainy islands of the Bahamas just like this. But, you know, that's not going to stop us. So the last question we had, MJ, was what are your goals for the next collegiate season? We answered that. So now, question number 5 is, what was your craziest welcome to college moment?
But I know this off rip. And all my teammates could vouch for this. The thing is, it wasn't even like at the beginning of my college like career. But like my craziest welcome to college moment, we were playing Morgan State University at home. And like during my freshman year, I was like 17 years old. So like they had a tendency of calling me like a youngin or like a minor. So I'm playing my match. Like I'm playing number 2 singles. And bro, I'm talking like 5 people, not even 5, like 8 people on the fence just shaking the fence behind my court, screaming, he's a minor, he's a minor, he's a minor. Like they just trying to get me off my game. Like I'm returning and they like, you're not gonna make this. But for me, like I'm used to that. So I just turned back, I was like, who not? Where you want me to return? He tell me where you want me to return, hit a winner on his teammate. They calling me a minor. I say, yeah, I'm a minor beating your teammate. But I mean, like, I think that was just like the first time like you experienced like that real college. I experienced that real college atmosphere, you know, and it was crazy. I think I won like 7-6 in the 3rd set, and Morgan State is like our rival. So yeah, go Bison on that one. We getting y'all next season, trust. What about you?
Welcome to college moment. Definitely against George Mason. So we had already lost I played 5, so we had already lost. And I remember I was playing a match, and the first 6 games were deuce points. And I lost every single deuce point. And we only were playing an 8-game pro set, bro. So I lost 6 deuce points playing an 8-game pro set. I ended up losing 8-0 just off the fact that I lost those 6 deuce points, bro. That was my welcome to college moment because I was so pissed because I was just like, bro.
Andrew
Wiggins.
Wiggins.
No, but like honestly, that's just how it is. Like I was playing a player that wasn't like, I didn't feel like he was better than me, but he just won those important points, and you know those 6 points told the difference for the whole match, and I just got a bit unlucky, you know.
Yeah.
But after that match, I went on to started converting on the deuce points. You know, I started winning more than usual, you know. But yeah, that was my welcome to college moment.
Yeah, but college and these deuce points, brutal, bro.
So important too, though. Like, you know,
Bro, them deuce points make you want to crash out in college tennis, bro. I'm not gonna lie, dude.
Bro, what's a normal collegiate tennis training day look like for you guys during the off season?
By off season, I mean
Like now, like we out of season.
Home?
Yeah, I guess when we're home, yeah.
Okay, so for me, normally like I give y'all like the tougher day. So I'd have like a private with a coach at like from around 10 to 11, and then I'd take like a little break. I'd go to the gym around like 12 to 1:30, and then I'd have like second practice of the day from around 4 to like 6, and that's usually me about 2 days of the week, and then other days I just do like fitness, usually in the morning, like either a run or I go to the gym because we have a fitness plan that our coaches give us before we leave, and then practice like in the afternoon from around 4 to 6, and then obviously the type of practice just depends on the day. Me and Ali have like a schedule for what we do throughout the week.
Me personally, I don't really be playing that much tennis during the off season. I work, so whenever my schedule's forgiven, but I do go to the gym. I try to go to the gym at least 4 times a week, just get my workouts in. I go for runs a lot, so I try to put in at least 15 miles a week, but now I'm probably going to be a little bit more. I'm probably going to try to do 30 because 15 getting a bit too light, right? But, you know, wiggy, you know. Can't really just be consistent. Can't really just grind. But in terms of playing, yeah, I probably still play like 4 times out of the week at least. Just good hitting, maybe like 2-3 hours just hitting. And then I try to just play at least a set every week or so. But now this summer, I think I'm just going to go train for a little bit and then play a few tournaments. So, yeah, pretty much I feel like that's what a training probably going to look like for me for the rest of the off season. Going to be a bit inconsistent, but, you know.
My boy say 30 miles a week. You's the only person who would say that and smile after you say it.
Oh, yeah, for you guys who don't know, I also participated in NCAA Division I cross country for Coppin State. So I'm a dual sport athlete. You know, not all of us could be athletic, black, tall, handsome Caribbean men, but you know, I'm one of that.
No, but you being modest. He's the freshman.
Oh,
what are you?
Sorry. I was also the newcomer of the year for Coppin State University, 2025 male newcomer of the year.
For all sports, not just tennis.
Yeah, for all sports. And I also have some of the top times in Coppin State history. I feel like I'm top 20 all time, but in the freshmen, I have the second fastest freshman 5K or 8K, and then third fastest freshman 5K or 8K, something like that. I don't really know, but you know, just to be a little, you know, I'm a little humble with it, you know. But what's been your most memorable college match so far?
You want to go first? You go first on that one. I gotta think about it.
My most memorable college match so far was probably my first doubles win with Tinashe Wada from Zimbabwe. So I changed doubles partners, and that was like within like the first like 4 matches me and him played together. We played against Hampton University, and it was just really good, you know, because it was my first doubles win of the season, and then to share the court with somebody like Tinashe, a senior, also team captain, and I really just going through the motions. Everything felt pretty crisp. We made a good team, and we were able to just go out there and execute, you know, the game plan that we had. There was a little bit of pressure because we're playing against 2 older guys, obviously, and Tinashe knew one of the guys, so I felt like I really needed to just step up to get him that win, because it's always good to win against somebody like, you know, that you're friends with, you know, to just get the bragging rights. Yeah. But the guys were hazing me a little bit. They were heckling a little bit. You know, I was about to serve. I was serving for Matchpoint. It was a deuce point for Matchpoint, and the guy goes, last chance, right? And I look at my coach looks at me, and I didn't double fault the whole match, so I'm like, bro, come on, you should know what's coming. You know, I sliced wide, serving volley it down the line to his partner, and then, you know, that was match. right? And it was just a good feeling, and that was a memorable moment, a moment that's always going to stick with me. Just being able to share the court with one of the guys I was really close with on the team, and yeah, I feel like that moment's going to stick with me for the rest of my college career.
For me, honestly, it wasn't even a match that I'd say like I played, but it was like a match I witnessed. Like it was first ever conference, first round. We played Morgan State, and like Kendrick, one of my best friends, who was also a part of the podcast, like you all know, Kendrick clinched for us against Morgan after being down 5-4, 40-love in the third set. And like for me, like I lost a tough third set. I lost like 6-4 in the third. Had to start playing lefty because I was cramping in my right arm. But like after that, like I ran to his court, like I saw a bro save 4 match points and I already knew it was up. Last point of the match, backhand grind, wins the point, chucks his racket, everybody just runs at him, bro. One of our teammates, Gabe, almost completely takes him out, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But Gabe literally, like, pushed Kendrick. But, like, that was, like, I was, like, after that match, like, the feeling, like, you got chills.
Yeah,
like damn, this is what college tennis is really about.
I feel like that's one of the best feelings to, like, clinch a match. But, like, I feel like people don't understand how, like, that doesn't happen very often where you get the opportunity to clinch a match. So when it happens, bro, you have to take it, because I feel like that's, like, just going to be such, like, a surreal feeling, like, a feeling like you can't really explain, to just know, like, you really just did that for your team, you know? It's like almost like hitting a buzzer beater in basketball, like just being able, like, last thing, just come up clutch. And then what's even crazy is the fact that he had match point, like clinching.
He was
4, like clinching is already tough, but the clinch down 4-5 40-love is crazy. So shout out to K for that, bro. Shout out K Dot for that. Our next question is, what is it like being a student athlete at an HBCU?
Well, for me, I attend Howard University, you know, the Mecca, and honestly, like, I think it's a great experience. I think with Howard, you get like everything, like no matter the type of person that you are, I think you get like you get all around. Like you get academics, you get like the normal party life, and you also get like your sport. Like for student athletes, you get your sport as well. And I think like it makes you like a well-rounded individual, you know?
True, yeah.
Like because I feel like sometimes some places they may just focus on the sport or like the academics. Yeah. But like to get everything in one, I think it prepares you for real life circumstances, you know? And it's Howard.
Honestly, as a black athlete, there's nothing better than going to HBCU. And for me, you know, going to the best HBCU in the world, you know, Coppin State University, you know, where it's very student-centered.
You saying anything now, bro. Howard is the best HBCU.
I thought I would say the best HBCU in the world, Coppin State University. I stand on what I said. You know, it's very student-oriented. Like, the students definitely have a voice. We're going through a lot of upgrades right now. We're getting new dorm buildings. We just got brand new tennis courts. So, and it is great staff, great faculty, just from the athletic trainers all the way to the president. You know, everybody looks out. They're willing to hear you out. They're always willing to work with you, I feel like. And you're a big part of the school, and you feel that from the second you walk on campus. And even my coach, like, she made sure I always felt that way. For my birthday, we went out for a little, we had lunch, you know, and we just got to talk, you know. And I mean, that's always cool to do, like to just have a close relationship. And it's easy to have a close relationship with everyone when you go to a smaller school, especially when you get into a setting where you're surrounded by your own, you know, in a way. And it also it makes you feel comfortable, and you feel secure within yourself, and you're just more at peace, I feel like. And that's why I chose an HBCU over a PWI, and I would do it 1,000 times again. What's the flow state, and how can you enter it?
This gotta be Quinton.
Shout out Quinton.
Shout out Q. He was on the podcast earlier in like a few months ago. Yeah. But I think the flow state is like, I think that's when you stop overthinking, honestly. I think that's when you stop overthinking and just let your body and your racket do the talking. Like, I think that's when you have like complete trust in like your tennis capabilities. Like, that's the only thing I can say. Like, I feel like that's just when you have no doubt, and like, it's almost like being up, like imagine being up 5-love for the entire match. Like that feeling of like no restrictions, like no holding back. I think that's like just having no doubt in your game helps you enter the flow state and like achieve it, to be honest, I'd say. What about you? What you
I would say it's like when you're just subconsciously playing the best tennis. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like when you don't have to think about what shot you're gonna hit next, and you just let it come to you naturally. You don't try to force anything, and yeah, you just trust your abilities, trust your training or whatever, and mentally you're clear. And how can you enter it? I feel like the flow state happens before you even come onto the court. Like, it's not something you can make happen. You know, it doesn't happen when we want it to happen. Because a lot of times when I'm in that state, I don't really realize when I'm there. You know.
Yeah.
And then the second when I start thinking about being there, I lose it. So it's just a state where like you don't really have to think much, and you just enter it by being mentally sound, you know, having a clear mind and just focusing on the ball, you know. That's it. Just you versus the ball, nothing else. What does your diet look like?
What does it?
Let me go first.
You go.
KFC, fried chicken, watermelon, Kool-Aid, lemonade. Bro, listen, bro, I living off of cat food. I go in there getting chocolate chip pancakes with whipped cream and powdered sugar every morning. I having me at least 2 hamburgers a day from the calf. Shout out my boy Murder. He know. I shout out Uncle's being the grill in Coppin Calf, bro. You know, he's getting it right. Said I said with my little onions. I said if I feeling really healthy, I get a fried chicken sandwich out of the calf with a little ranch on it, right? When I come home, it's nothing but conch, bamboo shack, and tropical gyro. And if y'all seen this, sponsor me.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us. Yeah, but on a serious note, a lot of water though. Like I can always say, like hydration, very important. So always a lot of water, always a lot of electrolytes. Like I even brought back like 3 packs of liquid IV with me, just because I take hydration very serious, even if I'm not like eating the cleanest. But I definitely say what you put into your body is so important, especially as Division I athletes, as high level athletes. So it is important. But me, I culturally, like it's not a big thing to really eat healthy where I'm from. And I do think that's an area where I can improve in. But yeah, my diet is pretty trash. Sorry.
For me, I definitely say I'm not like DJ. I think I have a way better diet. I mean, I usually start my day with like a protein shake. I eat a lot of seafood, a lot of like rice, mashed potatoes, broccoli. I definitely eat pretty clean, a lot of steak. Like I try to put a lot of protein in, a lot of calories. Y'all can ask Nali.
Wait, let me ask you a question. What you had today?
What I had today?
Yeah.
Like he said, culturally, we eat pretty bad. So, I mean, sometimes, you know, we have a little bamboo shack or a little fried chicken.
I just making sure he eat the same thing I eat today, because that's all just anyway. But that's beyond me. But I could say on a daily basis, yeah, he does. He cleaner than I do.
Yeah.
But you know, he don't have a 6-pack like I do. He ain't as lean as me, so you know, it is what it is.
But guess what? I can lift more in the gym.
That's okay, but lifting more. And I look better when I take my shirt off.
Yeah, you say so. And a lot of water, like you said, a lot of water.
Yeah.
But you gotta drink water. And kung salad.
What's your fastest serve? Let me hear this.
Fastest serve.
Let me hear Roundage Jr.
Fastest serve. Nolly, what you think? What you think my fastest serve is? I said like 130. I said like 133, around there.
Mine was 124. Fastest. Ain't ever happening again though, but can't do it on a consistent basis. But you know, on average, I probably serve like 110, 108, somewhere around there. Not nothing crazy. No, I just a stick figure, so ain't nothing really crazy coming off that racket. But yeah, 124. What's your racket specs?
For me, I play with the sand beige and gold V-Core 100. I think my racket is, I use a 3 1/4 grip size, and I use like Polytour Pro strings, and I'm trying to think which my racket is right there. And what else? 305 grams. Yeah, that's
305 grams. That's what,
Yeah.
10 point something. Huh?
that's like 10.8 ounces.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I use 11.1 ounce Wilson Pro Staff V14. You know, the bronzed on, the new version. That's basically a frying pan. I can be real. Like that racket, like so stiff. But I'm trying to change, trying to find something that suits my game a little bit more. But yeah, I think it's about 345 grams. Grip size 3 1/4 as well. String of choice, definitely Luxolon, Big Banger, you know, the Alu Power. Those feel pretty good with the racket, and also it's a suggested string. But in school also, I don't really feel like I have the luxury of, obviously, you know, with college chance, I got to use the string that they provide. So, but I try to use something that's similar to the Luxolon Alu Power, Big Banger, as close as possible as I could get to it. So, yeah, that's my racket.
Shout out to Yonex. If y'all seeing this, I need that deal. Need that.
I know somebody that got it already. Shout out to you again. If you could play doubles with anyone, dead or alive, and it could be anybody, like literally anybody, like LeBron, right? Who would it be?
If I could play doubles with anybody, dead or alive, you go first.
If I could play a pro level tournament with anybody dead or alive, I am going to pick Gentry Mortimer Sr., my dad. You know what I'm saying? I think we had this question before, and I said I'm playing with my dad. Either I will play with my dad or I'll play with my grandma, bro. Really spank something, bro. We need to get a elderly youth league so I can play with my grandma and smack everybody and their grandma up. You see what I'm saying? But yeah.
For me, bro, I can take the normal answer, bro. I gotta play doubles with Federer, bro. I can't pass up that opportunity.
Yeah, I understand that. But imagine playing with my Grammy, right? I cork back, forehand. Boy, somebody else Grammy dashes out of mouth, bro.
Wow, that's what we thinking about? We thinking about hitting people. Next question. Next question. Bro, why is it raining again, guys?
No!
Like why the rain?
We get through it. Advantages and disadvantages of being high-level Caribbean tennis players.
I think in terms of advantages, I think it's great just because everybody like wants to help, you know?
Yeah, networking.
A good networking. Like it's not like the US where like the great tennis players so spread out. Like everybody comes from such like a far place. I think like usually like in the Caribbean or in the Bahamas, like everybody already knows each other, so you could just reach out and ask for advice. And I think with Caribbean culture, like people are willing to help also.
Yeah,
like
true.
I think that's like the advantages, and disadvantages is just like tournaments. Like
true.
Like you have to travel so much. Like with the US, you could like drive to another state and play tournaments, but for us, like you always have to travel. Like
yeah. The biggest disadvantage I would say, is like experience, getting to play those matches, getting to play all the high-level players besides the ones who obviously you play every time, like within your country or within your region. And also financial, like the financial disadvantage is crazy. Because for us to play tournaments, we got to go to Florida, get a hotel, and know most of the time you're traveling with your parents. So then that's 2 people, flights you got to book, then you got to rent a car, then you got to get food and all this other stuff. And then also like when we buy rackets, now we have like taxes and stuff on the rackets. Now you have to basically pay for the same racket 2 times just to get one, so stuff like that. Like it's just more expensive being from this region than to live in America. And yeah, one of the advantages I would say is like the networking. Everybody's so close together and it's so much support. And if you're a good tennis player, you stand out more. I would say it's easier to get attention and easier to get support from, other people within the community, maybe even brands.
Yeah. Like you just said, extremely financial. So if you guys want to help us, we're gonna make a PayPal or a Venmo, and you
can send gifts or whatever it is, anything to help really,
the podcast.
Even if it just helps with like the production of the podcast. Like we want to get cameras, we want to just make it big. We want to get backdrops for like when we record videos.
Just make better content.
Better content for you guys. Anything.
Only if you could.
Yeah. Was there a defining moment where you realized you could compete at the professional level?
For me, I think I've definitely had like some matches. Like a lot of matches where I was like, yeah, this is the level like that I could play at. This is the level that I know I could compete at. And I think I've had a lot of matches like that actually.
So me, not really. Like it was never really my goal to play professional tennis. Like I said earlier, like I've never really seen myself really doing that by any means really. But I did share the court with a guy that lost in Junior Wimbledon finals. And I didn't feel like overwhelmed at all. I mean, he was like 13 UTR, and to play against a guy like that, like, and be able to like hold my own where I wasn't necessarily getting completely blown off the court, I feel like that was the one where I was just like, dang, like, maybe I can still hang with those high level players even though I don't want to be a professional, right? And yeah, I would say that's a time I guess where I figured it out. How do you deal with the highs and lows of competing at a high level?
I think it's all about your mental. It's about how you think about it, honestly. Like, I mean, tennis is a tough sport. Like, shoot, we talking about highs and lows, and like, it's raining right now.
yeah.
Like, but like I feel like we could translate that to tennis and just be like, when you like want to achieve something, like you have to like put 110%. So I think for me it's like more like taking care of your mental health. Like mental health is extremely important.
Yeah.
Like especially with a sport like tennis.
I would say like I'm just here with the rain, you know, the sun got to come back out, but it also has to rain. Like even when you're high, like you got to, at some point, you know, it's going to end. And even when you're low, at some point, you know, it also has to end. So yeah, I would say, yeah, whatever you do in preparation just to get your mind right, and however, whatever your perception is to whatever it is you're going through, that's going to be the biggest part of it. What is the most memorable moment of your athletic career so far? So for me, I would say being able to just represent my country at the Junior Davis Cup in El Salvador, where I won 3 out of my 4 tennis matches. And what was unfortunate was I wasn't even supposed to be playing singles. And there was a little bit of doubt around me at that time. You know, I was one of the top juniors here, but MJ, those were above me. There were guys better than me, I can't lie. Unfortunately, MJ ended up getting sick. Yeah. So I was presented with the opportunity to play all because him just getting sick. And I was able to just go out there and show out for my country and just show what I was able to do. And I came up big for the country in that sense, you know. I mean, I got the only wins at the time. No disrespect to anybody else, but you know, I got the only wins for the country during the tournament, and you know, it felt good. You know, I surprised a lot of people. I surprised myself, and I just showed out. I just showed what I could do, and it was just a good showing of my capabilities, and you know, very eye-opening for everybody else that doubted me.
For me, I'd say, like, first Davis Cup. Honestly, like last year in Paraguay, I played against Costa Rica. Played number 2 singles and first ever Davis Cup match, like 18 years old. And I pulled off the win, like had a crazy long last game. I won 7-5, 6-4, or 6-4, 7-5, one of those. And like last game had about 13 deuce, like back and forth.
Wild, 13.
Like back and forth, like I'm talking like I had about 7 match points. Last point of the match, I was just like, bro, go for it, kick serve, slap forehand, come to the net, won it, and just the emotions you felt after, because it was like, it didn't just feel like I was competing for myself like usual. Like, okay, yeah, you play college tennis, but like it's different playing for your country and playing for people on the sidelines who like you grew up with your entire life, and like that feeling of playing for your country, I think nothing compares to that, honestly, the pride.
Last question is, what can we expect from Matchpoint Podcast?
Hold on, they letting off gunshots?
Yeah, I know we was like that, but no, not a Bahama. But anyway, what can we expect from Matchpoint Podcast in the future? I mean, you guys can expect a lot of content, a lot of just pure entertainment, right? A lot of just me and MJ, basically, a lot of personality, Kendrick. Just I would just say like a lot of content, a lot of fun stuff. And just a lot of stuff like you've probably never seen before in the tennis world.
Yeah, like DJ said, like we want to bring a different perspective to the sport. I mean, obviously we're going to still have our normal podcasts, like sit downs with collegiate players, professional players, or just recreational players, or just influencers, just to give you guys like some insight into that world, because obviously we know like that haven't been able to have that one-on-one experience is like pretty hard for everyone to have. So we want to be the people to bring it to you guys. And just a lot of content. Like I think in terms of like the YouTube side of things, like we want to really like push out a lot of fun content. Yeah. Like we don't want to just make it podcasts. We want to push out some funny videos. Like we could do like forfeits. Like
yeah,
we don't want to say too much because we have some crazy thing planned.
Just stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned for this summer. But I think just bring a lot of content. We want to bring a different perspective to tennis. I think a lot of people have like a negative connotation that it's a boring sport, but we want to shift that perspective, and we want to bring content that people enjoy, like how people watch overtime basketball. We watch Cam Wilder, watch Destroying, you know, the one-on-ones, different stuff. Shout out to Overtime Vaughn. He started like really pushing out certain content like that, and I think, like I told him, like he's an inspiration to a lot of people, and he brought out like a certain look to tennis that was never seen before. And I think we want to piggyback off of that and push into our own avenue and our own lane and just bring entertaining content like vlogs, all of that. But just stay tuned. You guys are going to see.
Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Matchpoint Podcast. Big shout out to Denali Knowledge behind the camera.
Nally, you gotta come.
You gotta come in, Denali.
You gotta come in.
So Denali is on our Davis Cup team. Denali's one of the top players. Oh, I don't know what that is. One of the top players here in the Bahamas. Denali's from Freeport. Denali played on the Caselli Tour, won a few Caselli tournaments, collected a few checks from Bala Boca. So Nali's a great player, great guy also, as you can see, just helping us out behind the camera. And yeah, so big shout out to Nali. Also shout out to Kendrick, who isn't here right now, obviously, because we're back home in the Bahamas, and Kay left, but he'll be back. He'll be back here, you know, chilling with the Caribbean boys. Shout out to Bahama for allowing us to just call Deron Donaldson. So like, thank you guys. Just thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for making it this far. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe,
and remember,
Matchpoint is the most important point.